So I attended an event today that was kind of a book club meetup where you did like speed meeting with other book lovers just to talk about books and find new people to connect with over books. And one of the questions that was kind of a reference to ask, of course, you could talk to anyone about anything that you wanted to, but one of the questions that was asked was one of the prompts was, how do you decide what book to read next after you finish a book, right? I think it happens to me a lot with a great TV show, a great video game, especially a great book. You kind of have that post hangover period where you're like, man, I'm not really sure what the next thing is I'm going to read. There's a hole in my soul and my heart, and I want to make sure the next book is going to try to fill it appropriately. I want to make sure that I can feel something, or maybe you don't want to feel anything. Maybe you're like, I just read something that was gut wrenching. I want to read something actiony. Personally, those kinds of novels don't appeal to me, but everyone has their preferences, right? And there were lots of interesting responses that I gathered from that. I just thought that was one of the best prompts. What do you look for when you're trying to pick your next book? And for me, this book was selected for our March book club that I'm a part of. And it's not until late March. I think it's March 27th. But for some reason, it stood out to me, and I was like, I'll go ahead and knock this out. I'm going to give this a shot. And man, this book absolutely blew my mind. So it's called Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. And it's about an individual who has special needs, and he's chosen. First off, let me preface this book is, I think, high school curriculum essential read, something similar to like Animal Farm, 1984, To Kill a Mockingbird, Where the Red Fern Grows. Like this is something that's just classic literature. To me, probably not the typical definition of classic literature, right? But essential literature that I'm aware is being taught, but I would love for it to be. Everyone should have read this in high school. Like I wish I would have read this way sooner. So anyway, back to the book. It's about a person with special needs who is chosen to undergo this experiment that was conducted previously on mice. So he will be the first human ever to be given this drug that made one mouse out of a lot of test subjects super intelligent. So now they're wanting to try it on humans. They receive permission to kind of run it ahead. Hey, we're just going to go ahead and try this on a human. They receive permission from his caretakers in the novel to go ahead and do this to him. And throughout the story, he becomes hyper intelligent to an extent that his intelligence grows over time, but it grows exponentially. So he gets to a point where he's actually more intelligent than the scientists that are conducting the experiment. He starts pointing out flaws in their methodology and finding ways to try to improve it and work on it and make it more efficient and effective. But the moral of the story is more about you read through and you learn and you see how people treat those who are differently abled and those who have special needs. So it's really an eye opener for people to gain the perspective of someone who sees the world, maybe you could say with rose-colored glasses. I would say more with an abundance of empathy and a lack of any sort of negativity or pessimism, right? The main character, his name is Charlie. Throughout the entire first 30, 40 pages, he's just a happy-go-lucky guy. Does whatever he's told, gets along with everyone, is very agreeable with everything. Everyone enjoys being around him. And as the story progresses and he gains intelligence, people start treating him differently because he's no longer a person that they can just tell what to do, or he's no longer a person that's just going to do exactly what they ask of him. He's going to have his own train of thought and want to do his own things and have his own free will and exercise that. And some people are uncomfortable with it. Some people don't even know how to handle it at all. So they just say, hey, get away. I don't even want to deal with you anymore. So he goes through this phase of growth where people treat him differently because he's now actually on their level of intelligence and awareness versus previously where he was less intelligent and not able to kind of understand the nuance behind what they were saying or how they were actually treating him. So it's a very insightful book. Fantastic read. It has lots of themes of repressed childhood trauma. I would even say like sexual repression. Again, just a perspective from someone who has special needs and is differently abled. It's a very unique read, and I absolutely loved it. Could not wait to pick it back up every time I had another reading session to try to get through it and finish it. Finished it in just under a week. Such a great read, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. If you've already read it, let me know what your thoughts were. A couple of people that I interacted with at that book meeting today had read it as well, so it was great to kind of bounce thoughts off of them and kind of get that out. But if you haven't read it, I definitely recommend it. I don't think you'll regret it. Let me know what you think when you do.